Perfect. Ooh, that was neat. So yeah, we can send this out to you guys afterwards with the recording, just so everybody has a good idea. So I'm going to turn up the volume. I'll mute everybody for now, kind of thing. But or you know what? Shouldn't be too bad. We can talk over each other, I guess.
It's not to so many people.
Yeah, it shouldn't be so bad. It's not so noisy either, I think. So if you have any questions, just feel free to yell them out. Yeah, and just try to enjoy yourself, you know. I got my glass of water, soon to be a glass of something else, but step number one, as always, we're gonna preheat the oven. So just up here, organize myself a bit. All right. So you heat our oven to 180 degrees or 160 with the Umluft thing. So, bam, already off to a great start. Look at that. Big thing to remember that I always forget is you gotta take out your baking sheet so you don't burn your hands later when you try to put anything on it. Huh? Am I kidding you? I always forget. Anyways, yeah, so today we're gonna get started with the overnight oats. And then as those are kind of sitting on the counter, soaking in the moisture, kind of doing their thing, we're gonna prep up the egg. And then after that, we'll get started on the main course, the dinner for tonight, the spicy chicken cauliflower rice deal. Sounds like a plan, right? So I don't know if we can get it all perfectly timed, but we're gonna do our best. All right. So, first thing you guys are gonna need is a big ass bowl, like this, and a cup. So you need a coffee cup. Yeah, you can grab yourself a teaspoon and a tablespoon. You know, sophisticated measuring devices, big spoon, little spoon, and I think we'll be good to go. So for the overnight oats, it's gonna be equal parts oats to milk, and then a half part of yogurt if you desire, and about an eighth of a part chia zam if you have some of those as well. But the yogurt and the chia seeds are optional. You can throw them in there. I like adding the chia seeds because they give a good texture. It makes it kind of thicker, especially after it sits overnight. It gives that little zing. Plus, you know, they're good for the little extra protein and fat in there. So it makes it nice and balanced. So let's start grabbing our ingredients. We're going to need the oats, milk, yogurt, either dairy or non-dairy, some chia seeds or honey. If you want to kind of make it sweet or thick, we have some cinnamon or vanilla extract that we can add in for a little bit extra flavor, a little bit of salt, and for those of you on the gains, you can also add in some vanilla whey powder if you want towards the end. Good. So I'll give everybody a minute just to grab those. I'm going to grab my stuff here. So I got my oats, got my milk, got my cup. All right. So we're going to start by adding 2 cups. Well, like I said in the email, you know, scale up as needed. I'm going to make enough for 4 servings. So this is basically my breakfast for 4 days, or me and the wife's for 2. But it's a good way to do it. So I'm just going to open up my oats here. Use my cup. Dry ingredients first, nice and easy. That way you only have to use 1 cup. So we get 1 cup of oats going in. 2 cups of oats going in. Booyah. All right. We're going to grab that milk. All right, so same thing, 2 cups of milk, same portions. 1 cup of milk. 2 cups of milk. All right, looking good. So then we're gonna go 1 cup Greek yogurt. I got myself this guy here. So you can also use this, what is it, Skier? But yeah, just kind of eyeball it, you know, if you want, or you can use the cup again. That's about right. In they go. Booyah. All right, looking good. Then, grab 1 more big spoon here. I'm gonna put in a little bit of chiazam because I like that texture. So, yeah, about I don't know, 1 to 3 maybe tablespoons. Depends how thick you like it. I kind of like it thick, so I might even put in 4. 3. Yeah, 1 more. 4 tablespoons of that goodness. Then we got the last one with the tablespoon is going to be some honey, if you want to make it a little bit sweet. Nice and easy, about 3 tablespoons. Nothing too easy, just measure it out there. 1, let it pour in. Do the second. And the third. Okay. Maple syrup is in. Now, if you want any flavorings, like I said, you can put a little bit of cinnamon in there. This is also good for reducing the insulin impact from anything sweet. But I find it's just nice, just a couple dashes, like a teaspoon or so. Oh yeah. Then I'm gonna do, where's my vanilla? About a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract as well for me. So that's good. We get all that goodness in. Oh yeah. All right. Then a little bit of salt just to balance it out. Maybe just like, yeah, 1/4 teaspoon. Nothing. I just like 2 cranks of this bad boy. That should be enough. All right. And like I said, if you want a little bit of gains, you can throw in some protein powder. But we should be all good. Otherwise, just grab it. Always make sure to clean up your mess as we go. Keeps the cleanup afterwards to the minimum. So we've got all our ingredients in there. Like I said, if you want to throw in some whey, you can. Then we're going to give it a good stir. Good to go. Nice and thorough. Chug. Big thing is, if you put in the chia seeds, you want to make sure that they break up and they're not all clumpy. It should kind of look like a soupy cereal type thing. Nice and smooth and steady here. Get it up real good. Now, depending on personal preference on texture, you can add a little less milk or a little more milk, or you can even, or milk alternative, as you see fit. But remember, these oats are gonna suck in all that moisture overnight. So even though it's pretty soupy now, in a couple hours, it'll start to thicken up. There we go. We got this nice little soup thing. I don't want to tilt it too far or it'll spill, but you get the idea. And we're just gonna let that sit off to the side. We're gonna stir it up again, so just leave a spoon in there. We'll stir it up again in about 15 minutes or so. Yeah, so if you want, you can cover it with like a tea towel or something like that. Keep the dirt out, but I'm just gonna leave mine off to the side here, underneath. Put these over here in the sink. So, part 1 is done. Next up is going to be part 2. Yeah, so I'm going to rinse. Yeah, like I said. So just clean off your area if you made little spills or anything. Wash the hands again. And then Inga's going to go and walk you guys through the. After. Yeah. Got my Canada tea towel. Okay. So, as you can see, it didn't take very long to make the oats, and we got enough in there for a good couple portions. So, all right.
Okay, so the next one will be the eggplant, because it will take the longest time. So the cooking is around about 40 to 50 minutes in the oven. So that's why we will already pre-make it, put it in the oven, and then we will do the rest of the things, the cauliflower and everything. So grab your eggplant. I mean, we have 2 because we are 2 people. 1 is enough for 1 person. I think 1 is enough. It depends how you like, how much you like.
So, yeah, rinse off the eggplant. Right here.
One question, Michael.
Yep.
I have bought here zucchini because I can't eat eggplants. I have allergy. Do you think it's the same time in the oven?
I think it's
Probably a little bit less.
I think it's less. Yes.
Okay.
It's definitely
So
less.
I would say instead of 40 minutes, maybe 25.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just keep an eye on it all the time, you know, because there will be lots of water coming out of it. So yeah, but I think also it will be less. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like
Okay.
20, 25, something like that.
Okay.
Perfect. So yeah, once you've washed the eggplant, we're gonna cut it in half.
Yeah, you just cut it in half. And leave the stems, the green part, on. Don't cut it off. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. A little bowl, I guess.
I have a bowl. And then grab a sharp knife which has a pointy end. So preferably like a sharp pointy end, because we will, how you call it in English?
Score it.
Score it. So we will
make a little
lines,
diamond. Make like a diamond
and then,
checkerboard.
yes, we will do it like a checkerboard on it. So just be very careful. Cut through it, but don't don't come completely through it. Don't punch it through. Yeah.
So yeah.
So it's a very delicate and careful cut. You cut it nicely in, but make sure that you don't punch holes in it.
Yeah. So cut the flesh, but not through the skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
Inga's
you
gonna make a little.
just lines, straight lines across. I will make now, I think it's around about 4 lines.
Depends on how big your eggplant
Yeah.
is, I guess. That's good, yeah.
No, okay, I don't know if you
You can
can
just
see
kind of
that.
pull it.
You see maybe? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's.
And then
yeah.
we're gonna cut it 90 degrees to that.
Yep.
And we'll do that for all 4 of the pieces.
Yeah. All good?
Yeah.
So now it looks like that. So it's all cut in like little cubes, you can see, yeah?
Alright,
I think it's.
So let's move on to the next 3.
Yes.
Super.
Not too slow.
No.
This is a very delicate process. Come on.
A little deeper. All right, nicely done. So at the end as well, I'll be sending everybody kind of an overview of all the recipes, the ingredients, and the directions, along with the video today. So if you can't quite remember what you did, you'll have something to refer back to. Most of the recipes will keep pretty simple for the meal preps, mostly because I can't really remember anything complicated. So.
All right. Now that's done.
All right, so we'll let everybody finish cutting up their eggplants.
Take your time. No rush, no rush.
Good. Once you're done cutting your eggplants, you'll just grab some olive oil and sesame oil.
I will do it already in the tray.
Yeah.
Can I put the baking paper?
Sure. So you can put a little baking paper on your tray if you want.
Yeah, so you take the tray already. And put some baking paper on it.
You do it on the cutting board side. Otherwise you can't see.
Yep. Yep. I just place them already on. And just put them on. So we will need the olive oil and sesame oil. Yeah. So I just pour in a bowl 2 spoons of each. I just mix them together because the oil, you will just smear it on your eggplant. So you just mix both oils. So 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. If you feel that you need more, you can always add more. I have always added more because I love oil. Everything with oil. And the sesame oil gives that nice taste to it. It's like nutty, like nuts. It has a different flavor. So I really like sesame oil.
since I don't drink wine, I'll have a beer. Remember, when you're eating healthy, you can enjoy the good things in life. That's the important lesson for today. Okay. And the yellow brush.
I have the brush. I have a brush, but if you don't have a brush, you can do it just with your fingers. So I have the fancy thing, you know, fancy brush. But I mean, if you don't have it, don't worry. Just, I have done it also just with my hand. No problem.
And
So
front and back of the...
yes, so you just...
The whole thing.
Yes. You
So-
smear.
You wanna coat the front and the skin and the top
So
flesh.
yeah, everything with oil from both sides.
So you can hold
Yeah.
it from here.
Yeah, or just with your hands. I don't do it like this. It's not a big deal.
All right.
If you don't mind to touch oily things, it's fine. Using thing. So you just make them oily, nice and oily.
Paint them up.
So it will be, yeah. Eggplant will absorb all that oil very fast.
And they make
So-
the skin crispy.
Yeah, for the zucchini, the same thing, just nice and oily.
Put this back in the fridge. Oh, good.
What is?
So the oats are starting to look good. Lovely stuff.
See how much oil I already used?
Mhm.
I always think it's a little bit too less, two spoons. As in the recipe, I don't know. I always think
There's a lot still in the
you
brush.
need
though.
more oil.
You can add a bit more if you want. A little more?
Just a bit. Just a touch. Yep. It's okay, I can just keep the sesame.
Oh, it looks good. Everybody's an artist in the kitchen today, painting a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
Very nice.
All right, so that is done. Take your time, no rush.
So then, yeah, a little salt and pepper and in the oven, right? Good. Okay. I think everybody's done painting it with oil.
How does it look? Good?
All right.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
let's throw some salt and pepper.
Yeah, and then just salt and pepper on top of the eggplant, just as much as you want, as much as you feel like. All right.
Okay.
And this goes into the oven for 40, 50 minutes, but we will be checking it time to time to make sure that doesn't burn.
You want to throw any extra kind of spices on there? Like, I don't know, like maybe, what is this? Paprika or anything like that. Would also be pretty tasty.
Yeah, well, but we have
Garlic powder or something. But yeah, there will be a tahini sauce that comes later. So we can throw that in the oven?
Yep.
Just on a middle rack.
Alexa, set the timer for 45 minutes.
45 minutes, starting now.
Okay.
All right, so timer is set. Anybody with an Alexa, yours is probably set too. So while that's in the oven, we're gonna come back to the sauce part later. We're gonna start prepping the chicken and the cauliflower right now, because the cauliflower takes a long time for prepping. So we're gonna get started just chopping that up and stuff. So let's see. Yeah, basically we're gonna cut up the cauliflower. If you have some paper towel, I like to kind of put a piece of paper towel in the bowl. Like so. Just to kind of collect any extra moisture, because you don't want the cauliflower to be too dry, too wet. You want it to be more on the dry side. So I just put a little in, and then at the end I kind of just squeeze it nice and pat it dry, and then I'll take out the paper and leave it in the bowl. So get that set up for me. All right, so we're gonna grab a big head of cauliflower like Inga has here.
Or do you want it full or just a half?
Oh,
Because that's a lot of cauliflower.
yeah, we'll go for the whole thing. Why not? We got a really big one.
That's a huge one.
That's okay. I'll use any extra cauliflower rice you can put in your smoothie. So if you've been checking out our Instagram, that's, pro tip. You can freeze it and then put it in, and makes it a little bit creamier and smoother. Alex, have you tried it yet?
No, not yet, actually, because I found something in my freezer, which is this.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been looking for that. Where did you get it?
In Edeka.
Oh, nice. I'll keep my eye.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's
it
easier.
will spread all over the kitchen. So this is the clean thing to do. But of course, also more expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you just need a sharp knife. And if you're using a knife, I would also say you can also use a food processor. So if you take the little chunks, throw them in your food processor, do it in small batches so that it really chops them up real nice and fine. But if you're using a knife, I think it's fine just on a cutting board, but make very, very thin slices work pretty well. So I think I'm gonna just cut this in half. Pretty huge. And I'll work with this half. So yeah, you can core out the stem part. And then we're working with just the florets. So yeah, it does make a little bit of a mess because it is cauliflower. But like I said, very thin, small slices is what we're looking for. And I'm just gonna chop these guys up real quick. It just kind of crumbles.
So you're just chopping it very thinly, or how do you do that?
So basically, if you don't cut the stem parts, the bloomage will like break off like little rice. This is the tricky part though. These are going to be like the big chunks that you have in there, and so you have to cut them up like a very fine dice, essentially. Or if you don't really care about it, just cut off the floury part. So I usually just grab a floret like this and then cut off the ends.
Just make it super.
And then if you have any little pieces of the tree branches coming off, you can then just put those off to the side. If you want to make cauliflower rice a little bit easier type thing. Then you can just put these off to the side. So I'll come back and cut just the stems later if I want to. But for the most part, if you come back and just do like a cross chop on what you've done, it also works pretty well to make it small enough. I mean,
do you want to show how small?
no.
Wait, maybe I can just move you closer. Wait, like this.
So you can see like the plumage or whatever comes off into these little pieces.
So yeah, very fine.
But
very
you have this stems, so I will take something like this. Here, let me just make it. And if you just cut the flower part of it, it makes this really nice kind of rice as you come around, right? And then you can quickly just give that a quick chop, and it makes it quite fine, like a couscous.
You have quite delicate chopping skills. Crazy. like a cook with a, not so bad.
We have the cooking network in Canada. So when I was in university, I didn't know how to cook when I went off to school. I could do basic stuff, but I had to basically learn from TV, watching cooking shows. And I quite liked them.
Great. You know what? I talked to Chris, who was a member of the box. You know him, Chris. I can't remember his last name at the moment. But he's a cook. And I asked him, how can I learn to chop cucumbers like this? And he said, well, you need to chop like 1,000 cucumbers. You do that. And I said, okay, maybe I'll just have to practice.
But it works pretty well just to chop them up. So obviously, the finer you get, the better. You can already see, we've done maybe a quarter of the florets. And we have, and this will also break up a little bit as you go to throw it in the pan. So anyways, I take this, I throw it in my bowl. I don't know, somebody told me that this little groove thing here is good for dumping stuff through so it doesn't fall off. I kind of like that idea. So I use this not as just a handle, but also to make sure everything goes into the right spot. But this is probably going to be the messiest part of the whole night. Anyways, we'll continue making some rice. I'll go a little quicker. Shaving my cucumbers, or not cucumbers, shaving my cauliflower. Just kind of rotate it. That's good. Give it a quick cross chop. And again. Perfect. And into the bowl it goes. Wait.
I'm just eating.
You're just eating cauliflower? Okay. But yeah, this is kind of a good way to sneak in extra veggies, I find. because you don't even notice it really in the end product so much. There's a little bit of a flavor. But because it's so fine,
Alex, bei welchem Edeka hast du den denn her?
Bei dem Edeka in der Fußbüttler Straße hier oben bei mir, 175 oder so. Also, weißt du, wo der Jim Block ist?
Ja. Ach,
Der,
cool.
da, der ist eigentlich relativ klein, aber sehr gut sortiert. Die haben den aber auch nicht immer leider. Also, ja, aber sonst könnte ich. Was denn?
Ich habe ihn bisher nämlich noch nicht gesehen. Ich wusste, dass das gibt, aber
Ich könnte mir sonst vorstellen, bei dem Rewe unten an der U-Bahn-Haltestelle Barmbek, da könnte ich mir auch vorstellen, dass es da, weil die haben auch Edamame zum Beispiel, was sonst auch selten gibt.
oder Saarlandstraße ist doch auch so ein riesiger Edeka.
Ja, genau, das könnte auch sein. Da habe ich aber noch nicht gesucht.
Ja. Ist ja schon eine Arbeit, ne?
Ja, und weil ich habe das nämlich auch schon mal gemacht und dann habe ich das in einem Mixer gemacht und die Küche sah danach aus.
Das glaube
Wow. Also ich bin sowieso hier gerade nur am Räumen und Putzen und Staub wegmachen und da habe ich heute keinen Bock drauf.
ich. Verständlich.
You really want the whole thing?
hmm?
You really want the
Oh,
whole thing?
quite a bit. Yeah, it's going to reduce down quite a bit in size. So, although it looks like a lot of vegetables when you start, in the end, it always ends up being not enough to make you full. So, always do more than you think you can eat. But like I said, hold it by the floret, cut off the tops, a couple thin slices. When you get down to the meat, turn it, shape the sides. That's fine.
Sure.
Yeah, almost done anyways. Looking good. Then, coarse chop, to fine chop. Okay. All right. Little cauliflower pieces.
The ones who are done with the cauliflower, you can stir up your oats.
So when you
Don't
finish with your
forget to
cauliflower,
stir up the
give those oats a nice stir. What do you think, babe? Is that enough?
It's more than enough.
Okay.
I think.
So when you get about this much, I don't know, what's that like? Looks like 3-4 cups of cauliflower rice or so. That's probably going to be enough.
When your kitchen is full of cauliflower.
And your kitchen is full of
everywhere,
cauliflower, you know
then
that
it's
you're
good.
doing a good job.
Yeah.
So,
It's
Here,
seriously
this.
everywhere.
well, it's, it's a messy science. It's a messy science. It's okay. So yeah, give your take out your oats, give them a good stir. So you'll notice they've already thickened up quite a bit. They should smell delicious. If you want, you can already just, do a little taste test. If you want a little sweeter or a little bit more salt or cinnamon or vanilla, don't add vinegar. Then you can add that in now. But essentially, we're going to give it another big stir. We're going to let it sit for a little bit longer, and then we'll throw it into the containers kind of at the end of our cooking session here once it's starting to get it, bringing itself together. So yeah, just a quick time now. We got our cauliflower rice. It's in the bowl. We're gonna grab a frying pan, a nice big one. You can also use a big pot, depending on how many portions you're making. So the more portions you need, big pot is also good idea. But yeah, that'll work out. That's nice. We're gonna grab a big frying pan. But yeah, let me just clean up this space a little bit. Get all the little pieces of cauliflower that went awry. Good. You can rinse off your cutting board. If you have 2 cutting boards, it's going to be great because we're going to prep the chicken on one, and then we'll use the other one for the rest of the vegetables. If you only have 1 cutting board, you'll have to do a quick clean with some soapy water and stuff before we move on. But should be okay. Anyways, I got my. And oh yeah. Okay. So far so good. Like I said, you can then squeeze your cauliflower in your paper towel. Try to get out a little bit of that moisture. Give it a good squeeze, a good press. And then just take out the paper towel. Oh yeah. All right. Perfect. So let's get to the fun stuff. All right. So yeah, we're gonna grab a cutting board for the chicken. So we're gonna grab the chicken out of the fridge. So again, depends on how many portions you want to make and how much you eat of protein and stuff. But if you don't like chicken, you can also switch to tofu or any sort of meat substitute as your option for today. But yeah, we're going with a little chicken. I always like to rinse mine off before I cut it up and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do next. Just open the packs. And we'll give it a good rinse. Do we have another cutting board? Maybe I'll use this one then.
Well, you can, or this yellow one.
Ah, yeah, okay. Never mind that. So, Good little rinse here. Can you pass me the cutting board? Put it on there. That's one down. And let's rinse up these ones. Okay, so basically what we're gonna do is before we start cooking these, we got the pan on the oven. We're gonna add in a little bit of oil. So just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. You can do a little bit of sesame oil, maybe like 2-3 tablespoons of each, just into the pan. So, freestyle it a little bit. So if you want, you can measure it out, but 2.
Ölwaard messen. Ah! Nein! Michael, how will the temperature be? How much do you heat it up?
So, yeah, we're going to heat up the pan. At the beginning, we're going to go to a medium high.
Mm-hmm.
For just the chicken, and then we'll lower it down when we put in all the vegetables.
Okay, so all at once, cool, great.
So like just medium high, not super high. I mean, if you have a gas one, I would say maybe even medium. That's about good. So a little bit of sesame, a little bit of olive oil, and then I'm gonna put it at like a 7 out of 10, or 7 out of 9 type thing.
And you can check the eggplant also.
Yeah, take a look at your eggplant. Watch your face when you open it because it's going to be quite steamy. Starting to smell good though. All right. So we're going to slice up the chicken just a little bit into like little strips. I like to do kind of perpendicular. So I got a big pile. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. You just need a really sharp knife. And then just cut down and through. Cut down and through.
Sorry, are we doing the tofu on a medium as well?
To be honest, I don't know how to cook tofu.
Neither do I.
I'm also on the tofu side today, so I will also do the medium. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Less.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and some slices like 1 centimeter, 1.5 maybe.
Yeah, 1.5 to 2
Yeah, I've
centimeters.
got all mine ready to go.
Well, like big, nothing too crazy. Just cutting down and through, nice and easy. Looking good. Make sure we get all the way through on the side. All right, looking good. Through. So for most people, like 1 chicken breast is probably about a serving size. If it's a big chicken breast, maybe even half for some of you ladies. But I'm gonna cook up 4 big ones because I like my proteins. And almost there.
For those who are on the calorie deficit side, please measure up your oil in the pan. Do not just put it in, yes? So 1 or 2 tablespoons should be enough. If not, you need a new pan. This is what the nutritionist says.
Yeah. So yeah, I put in probably about 1.5 of each, maybe 2, olive oil and sesame oil, just for a little bit of flavor. And I got a lot of meat to cook up here, so we're gonna get that going here. That looks nice. All right, so that's kind of prepped. That's most of the heavy lifting. And as we start to cook up the chicken, we just basically want to get it kind of white on all sides. So you kind of mince it around. And while we're doing that, we're going to prep up some of the other foods. So we're going to chop the tomato. We're going to mince the garlic. You can grab all the other ingredients and the red onion we're going to cut. So yeah, you'll need a little bit more stuff to prep before we throw the chicken in. So you're going to want to grab a tomato. You're going to want to grab some cilantro. You're going to want to grab a piece of garlic, some vinegar, apple cider vinegar or some sort of vinegar. Soy sauce, if you have it, is a good addition for this one, as well as a little bit of hot sauce. So some sriracha to give it a little kick. Salt and pepper, maybe even some chili flakes if you got it for a little zing. Always works wonders. But I think that's it. So I'm going to wash my hands once I throw this in the pan. You should too. Remember, whenever dealing with chicken, that salmonella is some bad stuff. So once you throw it in, also clean off your working space. But yeah, how's the look of it? So usually when your oil is hot enough, you can start to smell it. You'll start to smell the olive oil. You'll start to smell the sesame oil, especially. Start to percolate through. Yeah, because it looks good. Yeah. Hot. It's hot. It's hot. Okay, so keeping it at about a 7 or 6, 7. We're gonna take all this chicken. We're gonna throw it in, get it going. Oh, that's a lot of chicken. All right, that's gonna go in there. Okay, so I'm gonna wash my hands up. You have a soapy sponge? So I'll make a soapy sponge. Just got to clean down this area just in case.
So just, you want it just wired around, not cook through, or how do you want it?
Yeah, so we're just gonna start cooking that up a little bit. Give it a little toss every every minute or so. Like I said, the goal is to just get kind of white all the way around as it starts to cook. So if it's not quite hot enough now, don't worry, it'll get there as we start to do everything else. So grab a different cutting board for the veggies. So I'm going to start with an onion. So you can use I need this guy and a different knife. We're going to do either like 5 little scallions, or you can do like probably 1.5 red onions. I'm guessing is about equivalent. So yeah, we're just going to peel the outer layer. Let's grab that. If you're like me and you have to cry because it's just so sad, it's okay. Don't worry. But yeah, little trick when cutting your onion, you want to keep the root. I don't know if anybody's ever watched the video of Gordon Ramsay cutting an onion. It'll make you cry. But yeah, keep the root so you have something to keep the onion together. And cut it in half down through the root. And then yeah, you can make little just little slices, but not all the way to the front, to the root end. Okay, so just cut down through nice and thin, a couple little slices. Okay, but it's still intact, right? Because the root is still here and I haven't cut all the way to the front. And then you can hold that little root and make nice small dices of the onion. Keeps things very simple. Comes off quite well. And then when you get down to where you've cut forward, that last little bit, you just flop it down and then make just a couple cuts around the root. So basically, you don't waste so much. Good. And then we got also just beautiful little chopped up pieces of onion. Everything's all nice and finely cut. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw that stuff just into my bowl with my cauliflower rice as I cut them up. That'll go in. And then, you know, if I was doing this alone, I'd turn around and I'd stir my chicken just a little bit onto the next side so that it starts to get white. Inga's on that. But I'll give you guys a second to, once you cut half an onion, stir up the chicken. Then we can again cut the next one, or the scallions. So nice small thin cuts towards the root. And because it's got layers, it's actually like pre-cut almost into cubes as we cut 90 degrees to it. And just a little root. All right. So that's one. I like onions, I'm going to do two. So I'll peel my next one. Once we've prepped all the vegetables, we'll check on our eggplant one more time. Just to make sure that everything is looking brown and not black. Peel this guy up. Leave the bulb. Cut it in half. And slice. And cube. Woo. This one's making me cry a lot more than the last one.
I should have done it.
That's okay. Whew. All right, beautiful stuff. Throw that in there. Yeah, I'm doing well. Crying a little bit, but that's okay. Okay. So, onions cut. Booyah. So, like I said, you can turn your chicken a little bit. Make sure it's starting to get white. When it gets white all the way around, we're going to turn the heat down to like medium, low. Okay? It's almost there. Okay. Then you grab myself a tomato. Get a little rinse. All right. Always good to use a serrated blade for tomatoes, or a really, really sharp knife. right. So let me just see here, make sure I don't miss anything. Okay. So yeah, we need the garlic and the tomato still. Yeah. Okay. So cut up your tomato, whatever you find easiest.
Check on your eggplants.
And yeah, check on your eggplant, make sure it's still nice and good. If it looks like it's almost done, like it's starting to get really brown and roasted, you can just turn the heat down in the oven and leave it in there to rest. But I'm
What
going
do
to
you
cut.
do with a tomato?
Yeah, so we're going to dice up the tomato into about like 1.5 centimeter cubes. But we're going to try to keep all the seeds and the juices in there too, because that's going to add a little bit of flavor and juice to the mix here. Cut that in half. So cut these guys into little strips. And then turn and cube it. So nice, easy cubed tomatoes, and they go into the veggie bowl. Cut this guy in half. And slice it up. Turn it 90. And in she goes. Good. Rinse this off. And some garlic will be next. So we can chop up a bit more garlic now because we're going to need some for the tahini paste. So I'm going to take about like 2-3 cloves.
Don't really chop off, you just press.
Oh yeah. If you don't have a garlic press, you can mince the garlic really finely. I use a garlic press though, because I'm lazy. All right. So I got a couple cloves of garlic. Take your big ass knife, put it on top, give it a little smack. Booyah. Then you can peel it. I like to cut off the little end first. And then give it a smack and peel it. Should have a little bowl of.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Normally I have a bowl for all the bad stuff, the cuttings, but forgot today. Smack it. Cut the end. Smack it.
Oh, gee.
That one got away from me. A little bit of fun. All right, so I got my garlic. Chop it up real fine.
Across the road.
So this is for the if you have a garlic press, you can also use the garlic press, but I like just chopped garlic is fine. Having your fingers smell like garlic for the next, couple hours, always delicious. All right. All right. Good stuff. So I got a nice little mince going. It goes into the veggie bowl. Booyah. Okay, and I think that's all the cutting. Yeah. So wash my hands again. Give it a good rinse. You covered it already?
Yeah.
Don't cover it yet.
Sorry.
Okay. So our chicken is simmering. It's looking pretty good. It's all white. Perfecto. Now we're going to take all the veggies and we're going to throw it into that big pot or that big frying pan and we're going to cook it all up. We'll add in a little bit of vinegar to the mix. But most importantly, we're going to turn the heat down. So like I said, if your chicken's all white, turn the heat down to like medium low. Then we'll take our veggies, we'll throw that in there. You think we need a pot?
Huh?
You think this will fit?
It's gonna be difficult, but it will.
We take out some chicken.
It will become smaller once all the water.
So should we take some chicken out now?
Yes, you can. Yep, just to make sure that you don't.
I think my pan's too small, so I'm gonna take out a little bit of chicken.
Few pieces.
Just for a little bit. I'll throw them back in. As we go. That's good. All right, so let's start throwing this in.
Careful.
There we go. Oh, it fit.
Yeah.
You can throw it in.
And the moisture will come out, so it will all be reduced.
Okay, so I'm gonna get cauliflower in my hands now. Perfect. So all the veggies go into the thing, and then we're gonna start to add our flavorings. So we're gonna add in a little bit of apple cider vinegar. We're gonna add in a little bit of soy sauce if you got it, and the salt and pepper. So about a teaspoon of salt, about half a teaspoon of pepper. So something like that. Looks pretty good. Okay, soy sauce, about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. If you're allergic to soy or gluten, then I recommend some cocoa aminos. If you don't have soy sauce, you don't really need it. It's just something nice to add in. So like so. Okay. And then vinegar also, how much vinegar we need? About 4 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. So I don't have any apple cider vinegar, but I got like this big date vinegar. Basically the same thing. And 4.
Super hungry.
Yeah.
Sort of eat.
All right. So we got the vinegar in, we got the salt and pepper, got our onions, and the last thing is going to be for me the sriracha or the hot sauce, Tabasco, whatever you want to kick it up a notch. I know you Germans are not big into spicy food, but yeah, you can add it if you like. You don't have to add it if you don't want. You can also add some chili flakes as well. If you want to crank it up a notch. But for me, about 2 tablespoons of hot sauce will Probably about 3 because it's a big dish. We'll kick it up that extra notch. So. One. Squeeze. 2. And 3. All right. So, for most Germans, you can also add in some curry ketchup if you want. I think that's spicy for a lot of you guys. But yeah, whatever gives it a little zing.
Curry ketchup, yeah.
It's not even ketchup. All right, so the eggplant, it looks like it's probably pretty good. We're gonna take a look at it. It's been 45 minutes, I think.
Stop the timer.
Oh. It should look kind of golden brown on the top.
Alexa, stop the timer.
If it looks golden brown, we're good. And then you can just turn the heat off on the oven and just kind of leave it in there so it stays nice and warm till the end.
If you can punch a hole through them, then they are ready.
Inga says if you can punch a hole through them with a fork,
If it's soft enough.
like if you can put the fork in, no problem, then it's ready. Good way to check. All right, so I got everything in the pan now. You guys should too. Then let's give it a big stir, kind of start mixing them up. Get those flavors mingling. So I'm gonna switch to a spatula. Yeah, that's a rata. Moving around there.
Careful, be careful.
You gotta be careful with the cauliflower rice. It likes to jump out of the pan and go everywhere. So take your time. Give it an easy spin. Should we throw the chicken back in?
Well, just wait first.
Otherwise, I don't want to think so it doesn't get cooked. We got a ton of veggies here. Nice coating. Put those down in there. Okay, starts to smell nice too. Oh yeah. So I got mine on like a 4 or 5 right now. It's got a medium heat. Essentially, I just want to cook up the veggies now. So I'm going to put a cover on there so that they can kind of steam a little bit. If you don't have a cover, I would say turn the heat up a little bit higher. And then you can add a little bit of water in there as well every once in a while, just so they steam up real nice. But just kind of give it a good stir, close the lid, let it kind of just chill out. And we're going to go back and we're going to keep stirring that every 3 to 5 minutes until it's finished. For the last 5 minutes, we'll uncover it. We'll turn the heat up. We'll try to get rid of some of that liquid that's built up as those veggies reduce. And then it'll be ready to go. So while we're waiting for this to cook, we're going to start with the sauce for the eggplant so that we can finish that up. So yeah, Inga?
I would still prefer to just use this cup for. We will not mix it.
No, let's do it in the bowl. Let's do it in the bowl.
It's easier to.
Yeah, you can use that cup.
Whisk, yeah.
Sure.
To just.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. We'll need the tahini. You all probably have got it, hopefully. We will need tahini, 1 lemon as well. Can you wash it?
Yeah, I'll wash this for you.
Yeah, and we will need a 1 clove of garlic. I already prepared it. Where is it? There. So just 1 little clove of garlic is enough.
2 if you really like it garlicky.
Oh yeah, I love garlic. So for me, there is never enough garlic. So just peel the garlic already.
So far, so good. Don't forget, have a few sips of that wine just to make sure you stay relaxed.
Yeah, very important. So, all right. So we will need 3 spoons of tahini.
Alexa, set a timer for 15 minutes.
So I use a little bit higher glass because you need to mix it. Actually, normally I use a mixer to mix everything. It's easy. If you have a hand mixer, like food processor thing, you can use that. If you don't, just by hand, no problem at all. It's just easier.
Ciao, Sebastian. I'll send you the recording.
Bye. It's nice to see you. All right. So we will need 3 spoons. 3 tablespoons, right? Yeah.
3 tablespoons of
3
tahini.
tablespoons of tahini. It's quite thick, like by itself. So don't be scared. It is
That's about
normal.
3.
No.
Yeah. About 3. That's good.
Well, I love that sauce.
I know. I'm just saying.
So get that paste in there. Then you will press the garlic in as well, just with the garlic press. Of course, if you like garlic. If you don't prefer garlic, I mean, that's not a problem. You don't have to have it. You don't have to add it.
Garlic is life, let's be honest.
That's true, yes, it is, but maybe
The best thing about garlic, you know, if you're cooking with somebody else, you both have to have it. That's just the only rule,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If one person doesn't like garlic, nobody can have garlic. But if everybody likes it, then we can have lots of it.
Yeah. All right, so you add the garlic. Then you get your lemon. Did you wash it?
Yep.
You get your lemon. And you need to squeeze the whole lemon in it. The whole lemon, all the juice. Hmm? Yeah.
Can you do it?
I don't want to make a mess. I'm always scared to make a mess. But I can. So you squeeze the whole lemon.
If you don't have a press, you can use a fork
Yeah.
to kind of grind it as you squeeze. But you want to get the juice of a whole lemon in there. Want me to do it? Oh yeah, looks good. So you get a good forearm workout. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna stir the cauliflower right now.
Chicken, yeah.
Give it a nice little. Let everything continue to mingle. Mine's looking pretty watery, so I'm going to leave the lid off now. It's there's quite a bit of liquid in there. actually a little bit later.
And then to the tahini, you add 3 tablespoons of water. But to be honest, that's the recipe. I always add a little bit more water than 3 tablespoons because it's very thick otherwise. I want to have this sauce,
Liquidy
sauce. So I think always it's a little bit too less 3. So maybe like 5 tablespoons is fine. I think it's.
Because you add very big tablespoons of tahini.
Yeah. Maybe.
If you actually added just 3 tablespoons of tahini instead of Inga's huge scoops, you're probably okay with 3 tablespoons of water.
And if you still have a little bit of sesame oil, you can also add like 1 tablespoon of sesame oil in it as well.
For the flavors.
Just for the flavor and also to make it like a little bit more liquidy. And then you try to mix it all. As I said, by hand, it's a little bit more tricky.
Yeah, but they're up for a good workout, so it's...
Yeah, maybe you can use like a mixer, like a hand mixer if you have, like the...
I would say a fork is probably better than a spoon, but I think you're doing okay. Once it starts getting going,
takes a little bit time.
Takes a little time,
you
but
need to be patient and just stir it up, and then eventually gets there.
Give it a good stir. Take a little break. Stir up the other frying pan.
Yeah.
Come back. Stir up your tahini. But we're pretty much good, yeah?
It's not yet. It's
Not yet?
not yet. Okay.
See if there's anything on the floor. There it is.
Well, searching. Oh, sorry.
Searching for anything that fell on the floor. There's cauliflower everywhere still.
All right.
How's it looking?
I have got the sauce.
show
It is
them.
really like, for me, it is, well, I don't know. You can try to show how liquid it is, but
Yeah, it's kind of like you can pour it pretty smooth,
yeah, it's like a pancake.
like pancake batter. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good analogy. But yeah, just keep smushing it against the side of the container.
You can
Yeah,
also
the
try taste it, and if you need more garlic, you can add more garlic. Just yeah, what you prefer.
But you should have a nice little kick from the lemon juice.
And
A nice little almost roasted bitterness, nuttiness from the soy sauce and the the sesame oil and the sesame.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the garlic kick. Okay, so I'm gonna take this off, give it another stir.
what's with the oats?
It's kind of bubbling a little bit, pretty good. Yeah, so just give this a nice toss, kind of move it around, make sure everything's getting cooked. And then I'm gonna leave it uncovered now because it's floating in juices. And I'll probably turn the heat up a little bit so that I can start to reduce that liquid. So we wanna get rid of all this liquid. So I'm gonna move it up to about a 7-8 again, medium high. So that the water that's in there starts to boil, okay? So we want to kind of boil off all this liquid as these veggies finish cooking. What'd you forget? What's up?
To drizzle the eggplants with oil.
When?
Oh, after cooking.
Yeah, it's okay. Right after cooking?
Yeah.
Well, you do that now. Okay, so that's just gonna sit off to the side here for a little bit. Start reducing off the liquid. I'm gonna turn on the fan. It's on low. Can you guys still hear, or is that fan too annoying? No?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's okay.
Perfect. I'll open the camera when it's open. Good. So, pan is simmering. It's bringing the liquid down, concentrating all those delicious flavors. We're having another sip of wine or beer, just so we stay relaxed. We're going to take the eggplants out, kind of drizzle a little bit of oil on top of them. Just a little bit. And then we're going to start to make the fancy stuff. So getting the pomegranate good to go, getting the cilantro kind of ready to throw into our stir fry and to top off the eggplant. So quick stir of the pan, take the lid off. How are you guys looking? How's your pans looking? Everything looks good?
Just a little bit of oil.
Eggplants still look good, nice golden brown and tender?
Eggplant, just a little bit of oil.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Yeah, so we're gonna reduce that liquid down. Looks nice. So let's take out the eggplants, give them just like a spritzing of oil. I got one of these like salad spritzer things. You guys just give it a little thing, but you can just drizzle a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah. with a
Maybe
spoon.
like half a tablespoon, 1 or 2 teaspoons type thing on top.
And then you can still put it back in.
And then we're just gonna leave it in the oven with the heat off. Okay, so the oven's warm, but we're turning the heat off, just leave it in there to chill out. And we're gonna prepare the pomegranate.
And what's with the oats?
Sorry, we're gonna do the oats first before I forget. So oats have been sitting now for a good while. We've given it one stir. We're gonna give it one more stir. You'll notice it's pretty thick now. It's almost like a porridge. Okay, so give it one last stir. Oh, that smells beautiful. All right, so stirred it up real good. It's starting to get pretty thick. Glad I use just like a little water glass, or you can use a small bowl. But basically, this is like a portion size, you know? So we're gonna start filling these up. Leave a little bit of room so that you can put on some toppings the next day. So, I don't know, about like so. So fill it up almost there, and then we can put like muesli and honey and berries on top of this the next morning, so that it's absolutely delicious. So you can use any sort of topping, nuts, berries, cut up fruits, a little bit of muesli even. Whatever your jam is, you can do peanut butter and jam. Oh, that's also pretty good. So like nut butters with a little bit of fresh fruit. So like cut up strawberries with some peanut butter. Oh, delicious. So yeah, if you got little ramekins or anything like that, you can also use it. But yeah, let's fill up our cups.
So you don't need the nuts now, right?
The nuts?
You will use now.
No, I'll put some on for the photo op, you know. But I think we made a little bit more than 4 servings, but it's all right. More is always better. Should have used a smaller cup. There's 3. Do we have any more cups? 2 more maybe. So once you get all these made into their cups or their bowls or whatever, you can throw them in the fridge and leave them overnight. So they should stay good for probably 4 to 5 days in the fridge with no problems, provided the milk you put in there was pretty fresh. Let's do this.
Alexa, stop the timer.
It's been about 15 minutes. Stop timer, Alexa. Okay. Perfect. So I got myself 6 servings. Look at that. So, Inga, we got breakfast for 3 days instead of 2. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. All right.
You threw it and you splashed it.
I'm sorry. Okay, so yeah, let's take these and put them in the fridge.
Michael covered them with
yeah.
fishing foil.
You can also cover them with frishy foil. Depends how environmentally friendly you want to be.
Well, if you don't have any lids, because otherwise it will smell.
Yeah, I know. A little bit of fish foil on top. Okay, so good to go. Looks good. All right, lovely stuff. Okay. That's looking good. The liquid's coming out.
Not yet.
Almost the way. So yeah, once your liquid's reduced in the frying pan, then that's probably pretty much ready to go. And then just turn it on low. But yeah, if you still got a lot of liquid, you got a little bit more to boil off. So I think ours will probably take about another 3 minutes, maybe 4. Get all that liquid out and into the veggies. So yeah, last thing we need to do is to get some pomegranate, if you got it, if you want it, as a, ciao, enjoy your dinner.
Bye.
Now we're just gonna plate it up. So chop up some cilantro. I already did mine. I usually do a bunch and then put it in a container. So yeah, just chop up a bunch of cilantro, you know, nice and easy. That'll be their fancy little topping. If you want, you can throw a bit of cilantro as well, like a good handful in your stir fry there, in your cauliflower rice, for a little bit of extra kick, a little bit of extra flavor. Now's probably the time to do it. But yeah, keep a little bit to top off the eggplants as well. We'll make them look real nice. And the pomegranate is what we're going to need next. So if you grab yourself a little pomegranate, sure. Yeah. So there's an easy way to cut the pomegranate. Basically, it grows in little sections. So if you make a little cut on the top here, down and through. Yeah, you're right. I should have done that the same. I know, I'm sorry. Okay. So be careful, the pomegranate makes pomegranate juice everywhere if you're not careful. But let me open this up. So once you take the top off, you'll be able to see there's little veins across the pomegranate. And you just want to score down the skin, and then you can kind of pull it out like sections. So if you follow this little white line, make a line straight down, and then you'll be able to pull it apart. Use this knife. Okay. So yeah, and then all you gotta do is pull, and the little sections will kind of open up and come off. Oh, I'm dripping a bit here. Does everybody see that? You just pull it apart, these little sections. So like, and then you can harvest the pomegranates from there. So, okay, grab me a little bowl. I'll put them in. You don't need too much for this, just for decoration, I think, mostly.
Yeah, and then you can use it for your oatmeal.
And you can use the rest for your overnight oats. So yeah, open that up. Booyah, all they go in. Okay. So, yeah, so you just take a few sections and then boom, you got pomegranate seeds. So we're going to use this to top off the eggplant with the tahini and the cilantro. And you can also, like we said, you can also use whatever's left over in the pomegranates for your overnight oats the next day to add a little tanginess. With maybe some walnuts or something like that would be real nice. So, shall we plate it up?
I think so.
So,
Yeah, let's grab that.
So, now comes the fun part. We get to plate it. So, grab yourself 2 plates.
You want both things, yeah? You want the chicken as well?
Yeah. So, we're going to do the plate method. Basically, we're going to have half and half. So, the chicken cauliflower rice is going to be on one half. So that's going to be our carbs and our protein. And a little bit of veggie in there, yeah. And then we're going to have one half is going to be that eggplant deliciousness, or basically a half an eggplant, right? So, shall we grab a fork?
Take out your...
Yeah. So. Huh? Oil maybe.
Yeah, but then Maybe because you did the, I normally do without this.
Without? Or
Yeah,
with?
I normally do without. I always do without everything. Anyways.
That's good. This is all reduced down now. Not so much liquid left. I like that. This on this. This for me.
I'll put
Sure.
good show.
Okay. So, a little bit of tahini, nice and runny. And just kind of drizzle it on top. Oh, yeah, a little more.
Then don't forget about the honey.
Yeah. So a little bit of tahini, a little bit of pomegranate. Boom. Garnish that up. Some cilantro. Bam. And then you can also take a little bit of honey on top of that eggplant as well if you want. Just a small amount, you know. It's a lot of carbs. Oh yeah. So that's looking there. You're gonna hit me with some sesame as well, and some sesame seeds if you like it. Then finish her off. Good stuff. And for me, I like to dress my cauliflower with a little bit of sriracha on top. And just a touch more cilantro. Bam. And look at that. There you have it.
I can, Michael, just take the laptop off and just.
Oh, yeah, yes. And there we have it, folks. We got some spicy chicken and cauliflower rice awesomeness with a little bit of roasted eggplant with tahini and pomegranate. So it's going to be a lovely meal for you. I hope you enjoy that. And the best part is we got dinner for tomorrow as well. And probably a little bit of lunch in there too. So depending on how much you made.
Cool. Thank you, Michael. That was fun.
Yeah. I mean, it took a little bit longer than I expected. I figured we'd be about an hour and a half. It took about an hour and 50. So, but considering first time teaching like kind of step by step in the kitchen, yeah, went pretty well.
Yeah, but it was cool. It was easy to follow, actually. It was cool. Thank you, too.
Kat's already done. She's down to cook, doing the dishes.
Oh.
I was prepared. The cauliflower was chopped, the tomato was chopped, everything was already prepared. So that saved me some time.
Yeah.
So how did zucchini turn out to be?
I don't know. We'll have to ask Carla how the zucchini ended
She
up.
didn't say anything. I wanted
But
to know.
hopefully it worked out well for her.
Yeah.
I think everybody
So
is good to go.
delicious. I'm very hungry, so I
Yeah.
can't wait to enjoy your meal.
Yeah, so let me know how it tastes.
Yes,
I
give us the feedback later on.
I can't
if
wait,
it's
you know-
delicious.
It's like what they do on the cooking show. You got to take at least one bite before you finish, right? So
Yeah, and then you do.
bon appetit, yeah?
Delicious.
Mm. little bit of kick to it. Nice.
Thank you,
Perfect.
guys.
Well,
Try the eggplant here next.
You eat it without the skin, do you?
sorry.
You eat it without the skin, right?
You can eat
You
it with.
eat all the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You eat everything. Yes. No problem. Well, enjoy your dinner.
Yeah.
Have a lovely Sunday and a very nice
Delicious
next week
and
ahead of
garlicky.
you. Enjoy your breakfast and lunch, everything what you made today.
Yeah.
And hope to
Thank
see
you.
all soon in
Yeah.
real.
See you
And
soon. Bye.
it tastes delicious.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.